Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm painting this desert environment which has a bit of sci-fi element to it with the weird towers in the distance. This piece is actually a warm-up piece before I start my portfolio project. Okay, so let me put this portfolio project into a bit of perspective for you. All the pieces I'll be doing in the coming months, hopefully, is a part of a larger story I created many years ago called Elysium. As I go along, I'll talk more about the story, but just for a bit of background, the story is set in the distant future where the human race is basically on the brink of extinction. Even so, people still find time to create an extremely strict status system. So the story plays heavily on the concept of classism in a futuristic world. So that's the angle I'm coming from with this portfolio piece. This piece is not necessarily a part of the story. It was really just practice for me, and when I was doing it, inspiration from the story itself, or the idea that I had for the story setting, was used in this piece. I recently started using Clip Studio, and I did this piece as a kind of warm-up to figure out how I wanted to start my project and to get used to working with Clip Studio Paint. I must say that it was a joy to use the brushes in Clip Studio Paint. I really had a great time painting using the software. Brushes felt much better than the ones I use in Medibang on the iOS. I personally love the gouache brushes and brushes from Magna Prosky, I think, on DeviantArt. I'll definitely put a link to all the free brushes I found in the description box. Okay, so for this piece, I decided to try out a different workflow where I started with a line sketch of the environment, then a value sketch. This really helped me to establish the high or low contrast areas in the piece. Afterward, I did color sketches to help me decide on the colors in the piece. I'm not necessarily showing that in the video, but I definitely did do this before I did the final piece. The color sketches was actually really difficult for me because I had a hard time choosing the color sketch I should use, or which particular color sketch I should use for the final piece. Eventually I chose one, but I felt I could have used any one of the sketches. Maybe I didn't do something right, I'm not sure, because I've never actually done colors. Yeah, I haven't. Planning is not my strong point when it comes down to doing pieces, so I'm really trying. But hopefully I can get better in the future as I go along, learning what works best for me in terms of planning out a really important or really big piece. Okay, so while painting, I found myself painting the sand really stiff, like thick blocks instead of sand. To be completely honest, the painting process was really enjoyable, but after showing it to some people, I realized that I needed to work some more on the sand to make it appear like actual sand. I think that's a good tip to do to show others your work at different stages, because sometimes you think, yeah, this looks great, it's great, and then it's not great. It's not great because people look at it and like, what is that? What am I looking at? And you're like, I thought I was doing a good job, but not really. So because you spend so much time looking at the piece over and over again, you might start to think that, yeah, it's going well, but then with fresh eyes, when they look at it, they'll be like, no, this needs some work. Yeah, so it's good to step away and ask for some kind of critique. It might not be from like a really skilled artist or anything. It can just be from a regular person, because to be honest, if a regular person who cannot draw or anybody who looks at your picture and can't tell that a cat is a cat, then something is wrong with your picture. Just saying. Art is definitely for persons who can't draw as much as it is for persons who can. So while you're asking skilled artists for tips on how to get better at drawing, it's okay to ask regular people, how does my drawing look? Because they can tell you, I have no idea what I'm looking at. And then if they don't have any idea what they're looking at, you have to start to think, maybe I'm not drawing it properly, you know? Food for thought. Okay. So another part of the piece that had me going in circles was the sky. While the execution was poor, in my opinion, I'm glad the experience was great. I found myself reworking the sky over and over and over again, trying out different colors and lucid trying out new ways to paint the clouds. I always thought that the things I paint look good while I'm painting it, but give me a few days and I'm definitely going to start seeing things I don't like. I think that happens to most of us as artists. I really love a piece when I'm painting it, but when it's done, I hate it. Well, there's just no in betweens. It's either love or hate. Okay. In a way, doing this activity is a good thing because it taught me what I should do when I work on bigger pieces. First of all, I now know that I shouldn't rush to call a piece done. Yeah, so if I waited a bit and stepped back from the piece, I could come back to it with fresh eyes and see my mistakes. I think it is important that I do this for all the steps leading up to the final piece as well, like the value and color sketches and the line sketches. Maybe if I took my time with the color sketches, I would have had better colors. I have this weird tendency where I rush things and miss important little details. I think it's a fault of my personality, you know, that's the line everybody uses, but I can easily see the big picture in anything. I know the end goal and I work really hard to get there. I work really hard to get there quickly. And because of that, I really stop to see smaller things. And I really want to see that the piece progresses to the end goal immediately as how I picture it in my head. But then maybe if I stopped a bit and just looked at the piece in different segments. It's good to look at the piece as a whole, definitely. But maybe like each individual parts, if I focused on it a little, if I gave it some of my time, just some, not all, because you still need to, I think you need to alternate between looking at the piece as a whole and at its smaller parts, you know. But I really focus more on the piece as a whole and trying to get it to that end goal instead of trying to add tight details and tight rendering. So maybe if I just stopped and took my time to try and progress the piece at a slower pace, but a more focused, slower pace, a pace where I'm actually taking my time to see my mistakes, to see my flaws, and trying to think about it and to fix it, maybe I wouldn't struggle so much. I don't remember there ever being a time during my art journey where I struggled to produce something in a short amount of time. But I feel there is more merit now in taking time with a piece, working on something for a longer period of time to try and make the best piece possible. So that is one of my goals moving forward. I am trying to slow down. I am trying to take my time and make sure that I give the paintings I create the best of my current abilities. Right now, I have no one waiting on me to complete this portfolio project thing. It's just something I want to do out of my heart, out of the goodness of my heart. I decided to take on this challenge. So it's not like I have a deadline to meet. Well, I set my own deadlines. Yeah, I still have a deadline, but there's nobody there to rush me to do it, you know. So I can set the deadline that I feel is fit to make sure that I give each piece the adequate amount of time it may need. So I think I should just bask in this moment that may never come again. The moment when no one is pounding on your head to get the job done. The moment when it's just you. It's just you. You're the one keeping yourself accountable. And to just bask in the moment and try to produce something really good. Yeah. Overall, I like the piece for what it is. It is the beginning of what is to come. And yes, I know that's the macro thinker speaking, but I am really excited to start this project and I hope it will become something that I am proud of in the end. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comment section below what art goals you have for the rest of the year. Mine is just finishing this art project. Also, remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe by clicking the bell notification icon. Okay guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Goodbye.